Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Elise, and this is 10 to Life, where we are talking all things true crime. So if you are brand new and you've never checked out this channel before, I hope you enjoy today's case coverage. And if you like it, make sure that you subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button below. And for all of my returning 10 to Lifers, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you guys here with me today. The case we're talking about today is one that a lot of you guys have been requesting that I cover. It is devastatingly heartbreaking and just truly awful. Some of the details in this case, as a parent, as a human being, are just truly unfathomable. It's extremely sad, and not many people have been covering this case. I can see why, just because, it is a tougher one to talk about. But nonetheless, we're going to go over all of the details in this case and what really happened with a 2-year-old who was found deceased weighing only 9.5 pounds. So guys, let's get right into it.
10 to Life with Elise starts right now.
Hey guys, we are taking a quick break in today's case video to have a word from today's sponsor. Truebill is an all-in-one personal finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. With Truebill, you can actually find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, lower your bills, monitor your credit score, and build your savings, all in one place, guys. One single place. And let me just tell you, this has been an absolute game changer for me. I can't tell you how many unwanted or forgotten subscriptions I have somehow managed to collect over the years. And because they are usually for relatively small amounts each month, by me, they go almost completely unnoticed most of the time. But when you add them up for the full year, that is a lot of money. That is a big chunk of change that is just getting thrown out of the window every single year on things that I don't even know I had anymore. So Truebill has really helped me get a handle on all of those subscriptions, so I actually know and use the subscriptions that I have. Truebill safely and securely identifies the reoccurring charges and then cancels any unwanted subscriptions in just a single tap. It is that easy. And in addition to that, they help me set budgets that automatically monitor my spending by category. And they'll send me friendly little nudges, little notifications anytime I've exceeded those budgets, which luckily is getting less and less. I love hearing from you, Truebill, but not that often. I'm a pretty visual person, and you're able to actually visualize your spend to earn ratio by month, by quarter, or even year, however you want to slice and dice it. I'm telling you guys, this has been an absolute game changer for anybody who is trying to get their finances in a better place, which, let's just be honest, we all can improve on our finances here and there. So to try it out for free and to unlock even more features with premium, head to truebill.com/10tolife or click on that link in the description box below. I promise you guys, you are not going to regret this. Thank you, Truebill, for not only sponsoring today's video, but for also helping get my wallet into a healthier position and helping me cancel all these unwanted subscriptions that I literally didn't even know I still had. I'm just going to own it. I had the Face app subscription, guys. I haven't used that thing in literally probably 2.5 years. I did use it 2.5 years ago though, so don't go on my Instagram and see what my face looked like, because that obviously was not good. And you guys have used Face app too, so don't even lie. But I was able to catch it, that I had been paying for this now for 2 years and I don't even use it. So check them out. It is going to help you guys out so much. Thanks again, Truebill, and thank you to all of you amazing viewers for understanding that sponsors are essential to the channel if we want to grow it to a place where I can give you more true crime all the time. All right, let's jump back into today's case. So as I mentioned, today we are going to be discussing a case that recently took place in Davenport, Florida, involving yet another pair of neglectful and careless parents. There are still a lot of details that haven't been released yet, but today we'll be going over everything that has happened and that has been reported so far. On Tuesday, May 10th, 57-year-old Regis Johnson made a call to the police stating that his 2-year-old daughter was unresponsive and not breathing. Police responded, and when they arrived, they found the toddler dead in an empty inflatable swimming pool that was being used as a playpen. He told the detectives that he had placed the child in this makeshift playpen around 5:15 a.m. on Tuesday morning and that she began to play with her toys. He stated that he left for a short time, and when he returned, she was cold to the touch and not breathing. I have so many questions already and problems with this. Why are you leaving a 2-year-old unattended? Why are you leaving them unattended in an inflatable swimming pool? Even though it's not filled, they could, get their mouth stuck on the rubber. It's not a playpen, obviously. So many questions already. An autopsy was done, and it was determined that the child only weighed 9.5 pounds at the age of 2 years and 11 months old, despite the child and had the average weight for a child that age being around 30 pounds. Now my son is literally 2 years and 11 months old right now. He turns 3 next month, and he weighs 33 pounds. My daughter, who is not even 9 months old yet, weighs 22 pounds, which she's a little bit of a chunk monster. I'll give you that. But the fact that this almost 3-year-old only weighed 9.5 pounds is a severe problem. It was reported that when the child was born on July 25th, 2019, she weighed 6 pounds and 10 ounces, meaning in almost 3 years, she had only gained 3.5 pounds. How is that even possible? The cause of death has not yet officially been determined. However, the sheriff stated that it was very apparent that this child died of long-term starvation. He described the child as being skin and bones, and he stated as a quote, "It is unbelievable what we saw. You'd look at this child and you'd gasp at the horror you saw and the pain that this child went through." Following this horrible discovery, Regis and the child's mother, 35-year-old Arhonda Tillman, were taken into police custody. While being investigated, he told detectives that the child had eaten a sandwich and chicken nuggets prior to her death. However, the autopsy showed that the child's stomach was completely empty and there was absolutely even barely any fecal matter in her digestive tract, further proving that the child was not eating. Now, obviously, if you are not eating, then your body has nothing to digest. Therefore, it has nothing to turn into waste. And that is why the contents of her stomach and her bowels were completely empty. Regis told detectives that the child had not wanted to eat much in the last 2 days leading up to her death, despite him making attempts to feed her. Clearly just trying to save his own ass at this point, in my opinion. And the mother claimed that she had tried to feed her daughter a turkey sandwich on Monday night, however, the girl did not eat it. Regis also told detectives that his daughter was able to crawl, but she could not walk, and he knew that she was not gaining weight and developing as a normal child her age should, and also said that she was losing weight and not thriving. However, despite these observations, he still did not seek any medical attention for his child. If your child is not walking by the time they are 3 years old and not gaining weight, and you know something is wrong, I don't know, wouldn't you say you would go and seek medical attention? It's clear to me that they had no desire, no interest in seeking help for this girl, because I don't believe that she was ever in medical trouble. I mean, speaking as far as something hindering herself from gaining weight or hitting milestones, I think they were the root cause of it, which is why they did not seek medical attention for her. Regis then went on to tell detectives that when this little girl was born, doctors believed that it was possible she shared a muscular dystrophy gene with her mother and that she may have cystic fibrosis. He stated that he took the child to a medical appointment back in July of 2021 where she was tested, however, the test had come back as inconclusive. According to his statements, her most recent doctor's appointment had been in August of 2021. However, the little girl's mother stated that she didn't even know when her child had last seen a doctor. How is that possible? She also stated that she would have called for help sooner, but that her and her husband had been busy. I mean, it is just absolutely unbelievable that this woman could sit here and say that her and her husband were too busy to get help for their sick and helpless child, their child who was literally wasting away. There is nothing in this world that could or should be more important to anybody, especially a parent, than the safety and well-being of a child. It's honestly just truly heartbreaking to think about what this little girl was going through and how the only people around to even help her refused, and instead sat around and watched her literally deteriorate into nothing. What in the world could possibly be more important than the safety and well-being of a sick and dying child? Now, the sheriff pointed out that not only was there food in the house, but that both parents appeared to be very well fed. They even went so far to report that Regis was 213 pounds while the mother was 144 pounds, showing that they were both maintaining healthy, normal weights and were more than capable of providing the same for their child. So it's pretty clear to me that these people just totally lacked any type of compassion and just couldn't be bothered to take care of their sick child. Detectives learned that an investigation with DCF had begun sometime back in December of 2019 regarding medical neglect, as this victim was consistently losing weight and her parents were not bringing her to these doctor's appointments. The report stated that after the parents complied with DCF instructions and there were several positive weight checks, that Regis was instructed to follow up with the little girl's primary care physician, and then the investigation was closed. However, the girl's pediatrician reported that her last visit was in January of 2020, and that they had actually tried to reach out to the parents on multiple occasions, all with no success. After detectives spoke with the child's pediatrician, Regis admitted that he had not been truthful about his earlier statements, and the statements claiming that he brought her to the doctor's appointments back in 2021. And in fact, the pediatrician's claims were correct, and he says his daughter had not been to the doctor since January of 2020. It was reported that between the child's last appointment on January 2020 and the 2 years up until she died, she had only gained 1 ounce. 1 ounce. And the sheriff said that while a baby this age should have been talking, putting sentences together, asking questions, running, jumping, and playing, this child could not stand, could not talk, and could not walk. It is heartbreaking. Now, that part about the DCF investigation and the pediatrician trying to reach out to the parents is not only very frustrating, but also raises a lot of questions for me. According to the information provided, the investigation was opened sometime back in December of 2019, and in January 2020, just a month later, was the last time that she visited a doctor. So what exactly happened between January of 2020 and May of 2022? For more than 2 years, no one was checking in on this little girl. The DCF investigation was already extremely short to begin with, in my opinion, but then just to let her fall through the cracks and never check on her again. Also, if the pediatrician kept reaching out to the parents and getting no response, why was this not reported to someone? Shouldn't part of the system and, actions in place to make things effective be that if you are following up on a child's well-being and healthcare and there's no response, that you escalate the issue? Part of the case being closed was that they were to keep up with her doctor's appointments. Once they failed to do so, somebody should have been making a report and letting it be known that nothing had changed and that this girl was still in danger. Over 2 years had gone by and no one thought to check in on this little girl, and nobody thought to do any sort of follow-up. How is this even possible? It's truly heartbreaking, but unfortunately, it's really not surprising at all, because we have heard so many cases where DCF and similar agencies drop the ball and left children and leave children in unsafe situations that end up with the child either being severely harmed or, worse, left for dead. All the parents did was promise that they would bring this girl to appointments, and that was it. They had to go off their word, and their word meant nothing. But somehow, that was okay, and that was enough. Case closed, and they moved on. There was no type of follow-up or anything, because had there been, they would have seen that the parents were not fulfilling those promises that they made, and that this little girl was not gaining weight and not hitting the markers that she was supposed to. As of Wednesday, May 11th, the day after this horrible discovery, Regis Johnson and Arhonda Tillman were arrested on charges of abuse, and they're currently being held without bond. The child's uncle, Frank Robinson, who's 64 years old, who is Regis's brother, also lived in that house, and he too was arrested on charges of negligent abuse and failure to report abuse. There were 3 adults living in this house, and all 3 of them failed this poor, innocent, helpless child. And to make matters even worse, if you can believe this, the sheriff stated in a press conference that the mother told investigators that she is currently 4 months pregnant with another child. How alarming is that? These are the kinds of people who I believe, and this is going to open a whole can of worms, but I don't even care, I'm going to say it. When situations like this happen, regardless what the family court comes up with, I truly believe that when there are signs of neglect or abuse of any sort, I believe that part of the punishment should not only be jail time, but it should be ensuring that these people can never reproduce again. And that is just my personal opinion. Your privilege to become a mother or a father should be snipped. Period. Point blank. And I wonder, I know that's going to open a lot of mixed opinions, but I wonder if that is something that could be done in the future. Like, it seems like that would be a good solve to ensuring that more helpless children aren't born into that chaos. The sheriff further stated that there is no evidence to show that she or the unborn child has been receiving any sort of prenatal care. So this woman who already neglected one child to the point of death, and now she's pregnant with another child, and she's already neglecting this child and failing to make sure that the baby is healthy and developing normally. The sheriff said that at the very least, she will now at least receive prenatal care, which is great news for the baby's sake, although not hers, and that upon birth, the baby will be placed with a loving family to care for them and to... It was reported that the couple has no other children together, and apparently Regis was the mother's church counselor at one point in the past. I mean, I'm sorry, church counselor, and you guys go to church? Like, there's so many things wrong with this case, guys. The sheriff also stated during the press conference that there are resources for parents who do not want to care for their children. He went on to say, "This is horrible, and this should have never occurred. Because of the actions of these parents, this little girl will never have the opportunity to grow up." He also reported that while the investigation continues, additional charges are pending against both the mother and the father, including murder. However, there is more medical work that needs to be done, as well as a thorough investigation by the sheriff's office and a re-examination of the DCF case before those charges can be. I thought it was very interesting how the sheriff used those blocks to demonstrate in the press conference the difference in what the child weighed versus what she should have weighed. It really showed the comparison of just how small and underdeveloped she really truly was for her age. This case is just awful and heartbreaking, and it's really hard to understand how and why these people do these things. These monsters just allowed this child to slowly waste away and starved her over a period of years until she died, waking up one morning and throwing her in the inflatable pool at 5:15 in the morning while you say you leave for a while when she can't stand, can't walk, can't do anything to help herself. There really are just no words to describe how evil these parents were. I truly hope that this child gets justice and that they never have another opportunity to do this to another child. I'm going to follow this one very, very closely, guys, because this one is sticking with me. And I know it stuck with a lot of you guys because so many of you have been requesting it. It's just one of the more awful ones we've talked about. So as always, I will provide you guys with any updates that come out, and as I research and dig more, any more information and details that I can find out. So as always, if you haven't subscribed yet, but you want to stay apprised of those updates and the news, make sure that you hit subscribe and turn that notification bell to on so that you get notified when those updates are posted. I know this was a tougher one to listen to, guys, and I appreciate you listening because, again, the more we can generate awareness and call people out for their wrongdoing, the more likely these victims will get justice, and we can hopefully prevent things like this from happening in the future if all of us have enough awareness and sensibility around us to call things out when we see them. So thanks again for tuning in with me today. I hope you enjoyed the coverage, and until the next case, stay safe. Bye.